The rhythmic clang of bronze bells echoes across the battle-scarred plains, a stark counterpoint to the distant cries of warring states. Dust devils dance across parched earth, swallowing the faint outlines of famished villagers fleeing yet another skirmish. This is the spring and autumn period, a land fractured, a society adrift, where ancient rituals crumble under the weight of ceaseless conflict and moral decay. Across this landscape of chaos, a lone figure, weary but resolute, walks a path less traveled, seeking not conquest but harmony. We stand at a crossroads, 2.5 millennia removed, yet the echoes of that ancient turmoil resonate still. From the bustling megacities of modern China to the quiet contemplation of a Western library, the influence of one man, Confucius, known to the world as Confucius, has shaped the lives of billions for over 2,500 years. His ideas, born amidst the collapse of an old order, offer a surprising compass for navigating our own complex, often chaotic world. To truly comprehend China, its enduring traditions, its societal fabric, its very soul, and perhaps more, profoundly to understand ourselves and the intricate dance of human relationships, we must first understand Confucius. This film will journey through time, interweaving the philosophical bedrock of ancient China with the vibrant tapestry of contemporary life, revealing how timeless wisdom can illuminate our present. A faint breeze rustles through bamboo groves, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant wood smoke. Born in Khufu, in the ancient state of Lu, in 551 BCE, Confucius arrived into a world teetering on the brink. Legend whispers of a dragon appearing on the night of his birth, a mythical harbinger of his eventual greatness. Yet, his early life was anything but grand. Orphaned young, he knew hardship intimately. He was a man of humble origins, a stark contrast to the aristocratic elites who often held sway. His early career saw him hold minor government posts, often tasked with managing granaries or overseeing livestock. These seemingly mundane duties, however, provided a crucial apprenticeship in the practicalities of governance and the nuances of human interaction. But it was in his relentless pursuit of knowledge, his dedication to ancient rites, and his earnest desire to restore order that his true path began to emerge. He meticulously studied the classics, the rituals, the music of the Zhou dynasty, believing that within these ancient forms lay the key to societal harmony. One pivotal moment, often overlooked, occurred when he was in his late 20s. A public humiliation, perhaps a dismissal from office or a slight from a powerful noble, forced him to confront the fragility of his position. This was not a moment of despair, but a profound turning point. It solidified his conviction that true influence lay not in official titles, but in the cultivation of character and the dissemination of wisdom. He realized that if the rulers would not listen, he would teach the people. This spurred him to establish one of the first private academies in history, opening education to all, regardless of social standing. Years later, while serving as Minister of Justice in Lu, a series of political intrigues led to his resignation. This was a second, profound, dramatic turn. He had attempted to implement his vision of virtuous governance, but the entrenched corruption and self-interest of the ruling class proved too formidable. Rather than compromise his principles, he chose exile. This began his arduous 14-year journey across various states, seeking a ruler who would adopt his doctrines. We see him now, a solitary figure, traveling from Lu to Wei, then to Song, Zheng, and Chu. In Wei, he was often mistaken for a powerful official, a testament to his imposing presence and dignified bearing, even in adversity. He endured poverty, near starvation, and even threats to his life, yet never wavered. In Song, he was almost assassinated by Huan Tue, a powerful minister who saw him as a threat. The Analects recount how Confucius calmly declared, "Heaven has endowed me with virtue. What can Huan Tui do to me?" This unwavering conviction, even in the face of peril, underscored his deep faith in his mission. His journey was a testament to his perseverance, a practical demonstration of the philosophy he espoused. He taught wherever he found an audience, often under trees, by rivers, or in humble dwellings. His disciples, drawn from diverse backgrounds, followed him, absorbing his teachings, witnessing his unwavering commitment to his ideals. He was not merely a philosopher, he was a living embodiment of his own principles, striving for moral perfection in an imperfect world. The modern world, with its dizzying pace and complex challenges, often feels far removed from the agrarian societies of ancient China. Yet the core tenets of Confucian thought, when stripped of their historical context, offer surprisingly practical solutions to contemporary dilemmas. Let's explore 5 key concepts, starting with perhaps the most fundamental, Ren, a bustling market in Chengdu. The air is thick with the aroma of spices and the chatter of vendors. A young woman, barely out of university, meticulously arranges her stall of handmade pottery. This is Li Mei, a startup entrepreneur. Her challenge, building a business that is both profitable and ethical in a fiercely competitive landscape. The problem, as Confucius saw it, was the erosion of human connection, the breakdown of social bonds in a time of war and self-interest. His solution, Ren, written with the radical for person and the character for two, Ren, fundamentally translates to benevolence, humanity, or goodness. It represents the ideal state of human flourishing, the capacity to truly love and care for others. It's about putting yourself in another's shoes. Confucius said, "Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself." This isn't just a passive avoidance of harm, but an active empathy, a genuine concern for the well-being of all. Li Mei, reflecting on her business, explains, "In my pottery workshop, it's easy to focus only on profit. But Ren for me means treating my employees fairly, sourcing materials responsibly, and truly listening to my customers. It's about building trust, not just selling products. When I treat my apprentices with respect, they produce better work, and my customers feel that authenticity." Her actions, though perhaps unconsciously, echo the Confucian ideal of extending one's humanity outwards. The challenge today, much like in Confucius's time, is how to cultivate this inner virtue amidst external pressures. The relentless pursuit of individual success, often at the expense of others, can make Ren seem idealistic, but Confucius believed it was the foundation of a stable society. He argued that truly benevolent individuals would naturally lead to harmonious families and eventually a just government. Next, let's consider Zhao, or filial piety. The character depicts an old person on top and a child below, symbolizing the child supporting the elder. In a quiet suburban home in Guangzhou, a daughter carefully prepares a meal for her aging parents. This is Chen Wei, a software engineer juggling a demanding career with her family responsibilities. The problem Confucius identified was the weakening of family structures, the primary unit of social cohesion. His solution? Xiao, the profound respect and care for one's parents and elders. This isn't blind obedience, but a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility. It extends beyond providing for material needs. It encompasses emotional support, honoring their wisdom and carrying on the family legacy. The Analects state, "A young man should be filial at home and respectful to his elders." Away from home, Chen Wei shares, "My parents sacrificed so much for me to get an education. For me, Xiao isn't just about visiting them. It's about making sure they feel valued, listening to their stories, and trying to ease their burdens. Sometimes it's hard, especially with work, but it grounds me. It reminds me where I come from. This modern expression of filial piety highlights its enduring relevance. In a world where families are increasingly fragmented, the Confucian emphasis on intergenerational respect offers a powerful antidote to isolation. However, critics sometimes argue that Zhao can lead to rigid hierarchies and stifle individual expression. Does it demand unquestioning submission? Confucius himself emphasized the importance of gentle remonstrance if parents or elders were in error, advocating for honest communication rooted in love, not blind obedience. The goal was harmony, not authoritarianism. Now let's turn to Li. Li, or ritual propriety. The character for Li shows a vessel used for sacrifices, emphasizing rituals and ceremonies. Imagine a vibrant New Year's celebration in Beijing, families gathering, ancestral altars adorned, specific greetings exchanged. This is not mere tradition, it is Li in action. The problem Confucius observed was the breakdown of social order, the disregard for established norms and customs. His solution? Li, a concept far broader than mere etiquette. It encompasses ritual, propriety, decorum, and the appropriate way of conducting oneself in all social interactions. Li provides a framework for human behavior, guiding individuals to act in ways that foster respect, harmony, and mutual understanding. It's the choreography of a civilized society. Confucius stated, "Without Li, courtesy becomes tiresome. Carefulness, timidity, bravery, disorder, and frankness, rudeness." Professor Wang Li, a distinguished scholar of Chinese philosophy at Peking University, explains, Li is often misunderstood in the West as simply rigid rules. But it's more like a language. Just as grammar allows us to communicate effectively, Li provides the structure for meaningful human interaction. It's about showing respect, acknowledging others' roles, and creating a predictable, comfortable social environment. This perspective reframes Li from a restrictive burden to a liberating tool for social grace. Consider a modern business meeting, the ritual of introducing oneself, the exchange of business cards, the formal greetings. These are all forms of Li. They create a shared understanding and facilitate effective communication. Without them, interactions can feel awkward, even disrespectful. Yet, the challenge lies in balancing the adherence to Li with genuine spontaneity and individuality. Can Li become an empty formality? Confucius would argue that Li, when performed without inner sincerity, Ren, loses its meaning. The external form must be matched by internal virtue. Next, let's delve into Junzi, the exemplary person, or gentleman. The character combines ruler and child, suggesting a person who cultivates qualities fit for leadership. In a bustling tech incubator in Shanghai, a young engineer, Zhang Hao, patiently mentors a junior colleague, sharing his knowledge and guiding them through complex code. The problem Confucius sought to address was the lack of moral leadership, the prevalence of self-serving officials. His solution, the cultivation of the Junzi, an ideal character type. This is not about aristocratic birth, but about moral excellence achieved through self-cultivation, lifelong learning, and a commitment to ethical principles. The Junzi embodies Ren, practices Li, and is constantly striving for self-improvement. Confucius said, "The Junzi is concerned with virtue, the small man is concerned with territory." Zhang Hao, though not a government official, embodies the modern Junzi. In the tech world, there's a lot of pressure to be cutthroat. But I believe a true leader, a Junzi, lifts others up. It's about sharing knowledge, taking responsibility, and always striving to improve. Not just your skills, but your character. It's about being reliable, principled, even when no one is watching. His commitment to mentorship and ethical conduct in a highly competitive industry reflects the Junzi ideal. The question arises, is the Junzi an unattainable ideal in a pragmatic world? Critics might argue that such a focus on moral perfection is impractical. However, Confucius saw the Junzi not as a finished product, but as a lifelong process of learning and self-refinement. It's about the journey, the constant striving, not just the destination. It offers a powerful counter-narrative to the idea that success is solely defined by wealth or power. Finally, let's explore when, or culture and learning. The character depicts a person with lines suggesting patterns, writing or education. In a quiet reading room at the National Library of China, a retired teacher diligently studies ancient texts. This is Professor Li Ming, a lifelong learner dedicated to preserving classical Chinese poetry. The problem Confucius identified was the decline of scholarship and the loss of cultural heritage amidst political instability. His solution? A profound emphasis on when, encompassing not just formal education, but the appreciation of arts, literature, history, and the cultivation of an informed mind. It's about understanding the accumulated wisdom of the past to navigate the present and shape the future. Confucius believed that education was not merely for acquiring skills, but for moral and intellectual development. "I am not one who was born with knowledge," he said. "I am one who loves antiquity and is diligent in seeking it." Professor Li Ming, surrounded by ancient scrolls, states, "When for me is about connecting with the past, understanding the continuity of human experience. It's not just about memorizing facts. It's about developing a cultivated mind, the ability to discern, to appreciate beauty, and to engage thoughtfully with the world. In an age of instant information, the slow, deliberate process of learning and reflection is more vital than ever." Her dedication to classical texts, even in retirement, speaks to the enduring power of when. The contemporary challenge, however, is information overload and the superficiality of much modern discourse. Does when risk becoming elitist or irrelevant in a fast-paced, digitally driven world? Confucius would argue that true knowledge is not about accumulating data, but about wisdom, about understanding the deeper patterns and meanings. It's about cultivating a discerning mind, capable of critical thought and ethical judgment, qualities more crucial than ever in the age of artificial intelligence and misinformation. The rhythmic beat of drums and the shimmering silk of traditional robes fill the air. In Khufu, the birthplace of Confucius, the annual Confucius Memorial Ceremony unfolds with solemn grandeur. Descendants and devotees gather, performing ancient rites, offering incense and prayers. This is not a dusty relic of the past, but a living tradition, a powerful reminder of the enduring legacy of Confucius. Across China, and indeed the world, his influence continues to manifest in myriad ways. In Singapore, the Confucian ethics curriculum is taught in schools, emphasizing moral education and civic responsibility. In South Korea, the concept of in, the Korean pronunciation of ren, is deeply embedded within corporate culture, influencing management styles and employee relations. Globally, over 500 Confucius institutes have been established, promoting Chinese language and culture, but also inadvertently disseminating Confucian values to a wider audience. These are not merely academic endeavors, they are tangible manifestations of a living philosophy. Dr. Eleanor Vance, a cultural anthropologist from the University of London, specializing in East Asian societies, observes, "What fascinates me is how Confucianism, despite its ancient roots, continues to adapt and evolve. It's not a rigid dogma, but a flexible framework that can be reinterpreted to address modern challenges. We see it in discussions about corporate social responsibility, environmental ethics, and even the role of AI in society. The emphasis on harmony, balance, and human flourishing offers a powerful counterpoint to purely utilitarian approaches. Her insights highlight the dynamism of Confucian thought. Yet, the legacy is not without its complexities. In the 20th century, Confucianism faced criticism for being perceived as an obstacle to modernization and individual freedom. The Cultural Revolution, in particular, sought to dismantle its influence. However, in recent decades, there has been a resurgence of interest, a recognition that its emphasis on community, order, and self-cultivation offers valuable perspectives in an increasingly individualistic and fragmented world. The sun sets over the ancient city walls of Khufu, casting long shadows. The sounds of a traditional guqin, interwoven with a subtle electronic evoke a sense of timelessness. We began our journey in a period of chaos, searching for order. Confucius, a man of humble origins, offered not a divine revelation, but a practical philosophy for human flourishing, rooted in self-cultivation and harmonious relationships. His teachings, born from the crucible of war and societal decay, continue to resonate because they address universal human needs, the desire for meaning, the search for connection, and the pursuit of a just society. From the quiet act of filial piety in a family home to the grand ceremonies honoring his memory, Confucius's wisdom remains a vibrant force. His enduring question to us across the millennia is not just how to live, but how to truly be human. What ancient wisdom, then, might we rediscover in our own lives to find harmony in our own modern chaos?